morning. Good morning or good afternoon. Thank you for joining me this morning or this afternoon. And today we'll talk about the gemstone. And our guest is already here. Tell me in the comments where you're based, guys. I'm in my office in Paris.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you put me maybe a little bit down the camera?
Yes.
Going well.
Ouch. Just a moment.
Of course.
Sorry.
No, it's not. So today we're in a little city in Italy, right?
Yes.
Today.
Absolutely.
So before we start our talk today, I will ask you, show me what you're wearing today.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Little bit problems with the structure. Okay, learning. Let's see. Just a little bit.
Much better.
Well, today I'm wearing my ring, my engagement ring. That you loved when we see last time in Valencia.
Yeah, it was my crush. When I see this ring, it's like, oh my gosh. And the story behind it.
That's well, it's because I truly love sapphire. For me, is a very meaningful stones because it's a corundum. And it covers all the color shade. So to me, it's a very important stone. And this is the reason why also my fiancé chose this stone as an engagement ring.
Can you go a little bit close to the camera that everyone can see the design? Because
absolutely.
On the one part you have like a dragonfly who just holds the
exactly.
Yeah, this is very interesting.
It's
absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think that it's part of the nature of the jewels to express also part of the personality who wears it. So you have to feel close to what yes, to what you get used to wear, and so I'm lucky.
Something else to show us?
Oh yes, I prepared some juicy pieces to check together.
Okay, so I will get the unbreakable necklace and the earrings by Raw Jewelry, a little stud and royal stud but retired weekend. That's my today jewelry, and the ring by Annalise.
I love it. I love your color choose, and also amber. Amber is stunning.
As I came from Poland, amber is our national stone, so I always like wear them warm and so let's start with our talk today. I don't know if everyone knows you, so I will introduce you a little bit before we will start talking about the gemstone. So I met Azzura Cessari last December. I was invited in Valencia, in Italy, for a conference in luxury made in Piemonte, a level of sustainability in the digital era. It was a very interesting conference. And Azzura presented this project, is a project manager in AssoGemme, and talk about the responsible sourcing of gemstone in Mogok region. And I find this very, very interesting. So that's why I invited her today to talk about this project. but also she's the second generation of the gem dealer, and she worked with her father in Cesari Rinaldi. Pardon my Italian.
That's perfect.
And she's the responsible of one-of-kind orders for the big groups in the jewelry sector. So, can you present a little bit your company? What is your specificity about the gem cutting?
Absolutely. Well, as you told, our company, that is a family company, was founded by my father in the 1980s. And there were a group of friends at that time completely in love with stones, and then they decided to join this business. So the company started as a dealer, but through the years they did the opposite. So they had the first cutting factory that is close to our head office now, quite big. And after a certain amount of time, they also bought the second factory that is one of the oldest in Valencia, founded in 1945. That was the old Mergaglia. Yes, so we have two cutting factories in Italy. And
how many people work there?
We're almost 30 people. That is a good number in Italy for cutting stones, and we provide a top quality cut, custom made. So we develop a machine that is a cut cam, able to respect plus minus 0.04 tolerance in size, infancy, shape. So this is a very important information, and usually big groups require this specific service for cutting stones for production. And also,
more the custom cut, right? The big group wants
absolutely
something special and demand a really precise and different maybe cut of the designer, special designer that they're working for the bigger, and so you have to for custom designer, custom order for this big group, right? And there's a big group from France and Italy also, right?
Well, there are several. So I'm sorry to not be more clear, but we have two.
I understand you can't tell the name, but I think everyone can imagine what is the big group in the luxury sector that use the gemstone, right, in France.
Absolutely, yes. And all the brands we get used to work with, they have their own specific requirement in terms of quality, in terms of shape, and even in terms of rough selection. So it's very important to be connected to their creative approach, to be able to maintain a constant supply chain in terms of quality requirements. So even in simple cut that seems simple, each company has his own specific requirement. So even in what seems to be standard shape or standard cut, they are never standard.
Yeah. They always have something different. And what is the value of your company?
Well, we are, I think, a trusted company, because when you work in colored stones, because we are specialized in colored stones. Yes, it's a trusting process between the company and even the customer. So respecting this agreement is fundamental. So The economic part, of course, came after. But the first part is to respect the people and to create a very important bond with the people you work with. Because also working with the creative means that you have to be sensitive in what people want from you, and sometimes you have to interpret their creative approach as well to develop a very good top quality service as well. So this bond is fundamental.
So Azzura, I think everyone is waiting. Show
Stones.
Stones, right? Guys?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Let's do something. So let's start with some rough
Pieces.
Show us, because we are talking about someone who deals with them. Yes, someone who applies, please. Oh my God.
It was very difficult to choose the pieces because we cover all the color stones. So we start from amethyst rough. That amethyst seems to be a simple stone, right? But it's a quartz, and in terms of material, each material has its own quality as well. This is a top quality because, as you see, the pieces.
No inclusion,
Yes.
very perfect.
And the color is homogeneous. That makes a big difference. So this also means that the light is not perfect, but even if we cut it very thin, the rough will maintain the intensity of the color.
So if you cut the stone, you will kind of have like a how many color after the processing? Because it's quite big, right? This one.
Consider that usually our approach, in particular with these materials, is to develop a custom-made cut. So it's not, even if it is not common as a gemstone cutter, our goal is not to optimize the final result and even the carat of the stone, but to obtain the best piece as possible. So just to give you an idea.
Okay. Something else, maybe some rough cuts. Okay, this is a cups for the breakfast, right?
Yes, yes. This is what we mean stones for production. So even if seems to be simple, because these are cabochon stones, the approach is completely different. Because we use, like for amethyst, for example, this top quality that usually is for faceted stones, we cut it for calibrated, custom-made cut, even in cabochon. So this ensures the company we work with that they are going to have the best material ever to develop their jewels. And when you do this approach, when you act in this way, you will have a perfect mix match of colors, even if you have like coral or amethyst or
if you can maybe put it a little bit closer to the camera. Okay.
Yes, or even
this is cabochon. Cabochon, yes, right?
This is a very specific cut, so they are perfectly calibrated, respecting 0.04 tolerance. Just to give you an idea. But then, of course, I have also to show you some one-of-a-kind pieces. So we can go through precious stones, the light doesn't help us very much, unfortunately, today. But this is an emerald. This is a muso material, and this is no oil material. So yes, the approach in the quality has to be always very high to satisfy some certain demands.
You're working on the natural stone non-fitted, or sometimes you can also fitted stone?
Yes. May you repeat, please? Sorry, the
You're
question.
You're working on with the natural stone, no lab
yes.
And you
Absolutely.
work on with the stone not fitted, or sometimes you have fitted stone?
No, we work also with heated stones, but we are very, very serious regarding these matters. So even in production stones, we like to develop a top quality service so our customers will know exactly what they are going to buy. So this also makes a big difference also in terms of price, because like for example in sapphire, this is royal blue sapphire, for example.
Where comes this sapphire?
This is a Syrian material, heated, but very nice quality, very nice, yes.
And you can put it like that in your hand?
Yes.
See, a little bit color. Very nice color, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as you see, the stone is very thin.
Yeah. Special order like that?
This one is a special order, but is traditional shape. Sorry, even line problems today we have with everything. What makes the big difference is that when we develop one-of-a-kind pieces for our customers, they need to have the best stones ever to use in their own pieces. This also means that the stone has to follow the creative direction, not the opposite.
Yeah.
So it's a very delicate balance. So the shape has to be aligned with the need of the creative director. So this one is very easy to set because the final result is big, but you can place it very easily, even in important structure. And then we have another juicy one.
Try to show it like that, maybe it will be better.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, it's very juicy.
This is a peridot. So we go through from precious stones to semi-precious stones. But calling it semi-precious, I think it does not represent exactly, right?
Even the hard stones are precious.
Yes, I totally agree with you. Because the beauty of the stones usually speaks for the stone itself. So when it's beautiful, you can easily recognize it.
Yeah.
But it's the experience. I mean, more experience you have, more opportunity you have to place two different qualities or more than two different qualities together, more you have the opportunity to learn what makes the difference in terms of recognizing the qualities in stones. Like, for example, and then I stop with one of a kind pieces.
Wow.
This seems to be simple rubies, but this is a Burmese material, unheated stones.
Okay. We'll come to our next topic. It's the subject of Mogok. But what is another specificity of your company? You're offering for the medical and something special services.
In the last few years, we developed a very nice project that we call baby layout because we get used to work with color stones as palette. Yes. So we do not work on that project as carat stones, as a precious approach stone, but as a color palette that we get used to place together to create unharmonical combinations of colors. Show you something. Yes. Like, for example, these.
Wow, 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 wow. This is beautiful.
Thank you.
I imagine the earrings like that would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. So beautiful.
These are multicolor sapphires, but matched in an unusual way. And usually people fell in love with this kind of approach because the jewels is almost ready. It's not finished, but almost.
And check it and be done, right?
Exactly. But also, there's another different approach. In fact, our customer love this kind of project because also the final customer can be part of the creative approach, because the final result can be obtained also with a dialogue with the final customer, like choosing the gold or even how many diamonds to put on it. So it's an experience. It's not only a precious jewel, and the variety is huge.
Nice. You like the star. What is the star? The gemstone, like a star cut?
This one, sorry. These are peridot, aquamarine, pink tourmaline, and tanzanite as well.
Okay. The tanzanite cut in which shape?
This is a fancy shape we developed inside our company. So it's an evolution of trilliant, but it's not a trilliant.
So like it's a little bit like the star. I don't know. Maybe the star into the butterfly. Very lovely. I can imagine it like that. Absolutely. Very beautiful. So you are very useful for the independent designer. If there are lack of inspiration, for example, you can just buy this composition and your jewelry is almost ready, right? Ready to sell.
Yes, and this is a potential approach that we get used to have, and also we even work together with our customers on the composition. So if we would like to modify some details or even to improve the composition as well, it's a constant collaborative approach as well. And it's, as you see, I just take some different, just to give a fast update. Yes, the variety is huge in terms of shape.
Oh, this is
And
lovely. Pink with green touch, right?
this is our
Emerald.
Zambian emerald, for example, and pink tourmaline as well.
Okay. Can you tell me about what is the most challenging card that you order that you have with clients who's really difficult that you need to realize?
We love to be challenged by our customer because usually they know that we are open to push the material at their maximum limit. We worked on one of kind pieces a few years ago that was very, very challenging because it was a special piece in turquoise that makes a twist in itself.
Okay.
So it was very difficult.
Yeah.
Yes, because it was almost a carving, but more complex than a carving. But the final result was amazing. So the customer and even us, we were pretty satisfied, but it required a lot of energy.
And some bad experience that the stone was crashed and you couldn't realize something really not funny.
This also happens when we push the materials. So
all the time, right?
Yes, absolutely. It was very. It is part of the job. So you have to accept it if you wanna develop new shapes and even to improve also the service to the customer, because working with creative people means that you have always to challenge yourself. And
they have a great idea, right?
Yes, absolutely. But it's a learning process on both sides. So sometimes we give them feedback about the possibility of.
It's not possible. Forget it.
Yes. Yes, exactly. But also sometimes we develop new technique thanks to the new shapes as well.
Yeah.
So it's a real learning process.
If they challenge you, and you can also developing something. Okay.
Absolutely.
Do you have something else to show us before we move to our second topic about Mogok?
Yes, I think that we can switch to Mogok. That's okay.
So, as I say in the beginning,
Yes.
Azzura is project manager of a Mogok Responsible Initiative at AssoGemme. What is AssoGemme? It's non-profit association created to promote the industry of colored gemstones in Italian jewelry sector, associated with core industry. It represents the company and jewelry suppliers, the operator that working with the supply chain, dealer, retailer, brand, producer, gemology laboratory. And AssoGemme support the professional through the gemological education and help to build the international network opportunity. It's also the member of Forest Institute, right?
Yes. Yes.
So when you're talking about the gemstone, my personal opinion that I want to add, I always ask the origin of the stone. It's a little bit tricky question.
Yes.
But it happens that often the designer don't pay attention to the detail because they're working with dealers, they're buying it, they don't ask where the gems come. It's already happened that I go to the courier boutique, and the salesperson of the big brand was not able to answer this question. And this is not very tricky question. When you're selling the piece of jewelry, the client can ask for its gemstone. And even last time during a big trade show, I'm looking for some tricolor tourmaline, and some gem dealer asked, give me the answer for this question. It came from Africa. And obviously, I said, Africa is not the country, so where this can come, right?
Yes.
This is very important. So, Mogok is the one of few regions in the planet that is high concentration of gems need. And you are in charge of this project, Mogok Responsible Gemstone Initiative.
Yes.
Can you tell a little bit more how the project was born?
Absolutely. Well, the project was born.
My camera is awful. Mogok.
Yes, exactly. Mogok is a specific region, as you told, in Myanmar. This is an historical place for color stones, in particular for corundum and spinel. So rubies, sapphires, and spinel. The project started thanks to a meeting with AssoGemme, the national Italian organization, due to Confindustria Italia Federografi, with the MGJA. The MGJA is the National Gemstone Organization of the whole Myanmar. Consider that this organization has more than 9,000 members in the whole Myanmar. So, thanks to this meeting in 2018, started the project to develop a first explorative mission in Myanmar, because the approach that the National Association had with AssoGemme was a very collaborative one.
When you start working on this project?
We started after a few months, the first meeting in 2018.
Okay.
And then the first mission was in 2019. So when the first explorative mission, yes.
Exactly. Some picture.
Absolutely. During that visit, the president of the association signed an agreement with the MGJA, so an MOU, in terms of collaborating on a sustainable project. That means that we, as National Association, went again in Myanmar. So we went 2 times to visit the country and to visit the mines located in Mogok.
Which mine you have visited?
Yes, we visited more than 10 mines. Different in terms of dimension and in terms of technology involved in the extraction process. Consider that in Mogok there are 2 main techniques of extracting stones. One is tunneling and one is open cast mining. So these are the main 2 techniques. So during not only the first visit, but also the second visit in which I was involved, we had the opportunity to visit the mines and to talk with people and the community there. So we had the opportunity to verify that the miners owners have what we define good common sense approach. So during this visit, we had the opportunity to see that no miners are involved in the extraction, and also that the miner owners get used to share part of the profit of the material with their miners as well. And the miners from Mogok, they are pretty much requested, even around the world, for their knowledge in terms of extracting stones. So they are paid a salary higher than the common salary in Mogok for as employers, high-trained employers. So this means that also we had the opportunity to verify several aspects that for our culture are elements of sustainability and ethical responsibility. Consider that, as you can see in the picture, many areas close the biggest mines are dedicated as to the families of the miners that can be dedicated as cultivation. So there's a strong bond between the community in Mogok and the stones in a very delicate balance. And we had the opportunity to verify it not only during the first visit, but also during the second visit, in which the people were very open with us, showing us the mine and letting us participating to the process of extracting stones, as you can see in some picture, because the quantity of picture we had the opportunity to take is very huge. The project, the Mogok Gemstone Responsible Initiative, has been supported by the Ministry of Economic Development in Italy, ITA, that is the Italian Trade Agency, and even the United Nations Industrial Development Organization. Yes, because it's an historical area, pretty much important for the gemstone business, because Burma rubies are almost the most beautiful stones in terms of ruby in the world. And so I think the opportunity to verify the respecting of all these aspects as part of the culture, because there's no knowledge from that side that is respecting sustainable principle. For them, it's part of their own culture. Yes.
I have a question. If you were gem dealer and gem cutter, what is your lapidary observation after the stay in Myanmar? I have a picture that someone is working on the cutting using this machine.
Yes.
And what are you thinking about this? How they work? Is it using like a traditional technique of gem cutting?
It was, well, from a personal point of view, it was completely fascinating, because we had the opportunity to see a master cutter working, applying a very old technique. I mean, all the lapidary people fell in love with that procedure, because the main tool for them is the sensibility of the gem cutter, because they use no instrument to take any measures of the stone.
So they cutting like
yes,
like that.
as we all did in the old time, yes.
Like,
And this is called the jig. Is an instrument that has more than 200 years, and people get used to use it till now because it helps the faceting process. But it's also interesting because the gem cutter in the community is a very well estimated person. Is pretty much respected by all of the gem dealers and all the miners owner, and of course this one is the specific part in which we're going to create a collaboration, because Italy has a very high talented, trained people as lapidary, and the main lapidaries in Italy have developed their own technology also to cut stones. So we would like to improve their abilities. So we would like to integrate the Italian technique and the Italian technology as well in a cultural exchange with the Mogok community, because we can learn from both sides.
Of course, this is the most important. And
yes.
What's the next stage of the project?
Well, before the coronavirus, the second step planned was to go again in Myanmar, and develop a gem cutting training course with a knowledge exchange between the communities, the Italian lapidary communities and the Mogok lapidary communities. And also, this is just a start, because the final goal of the Mogok Gemstone Responsible Initiative is to develop a codification of a procedure able to monitor the production of colored stones according to the requirement of worldwide social responsibility. So it's a long process, but it's also democratization of sustainability, because we would like to give to that community the cultural tools to understand and to be able to communicate also the positive aspect that they are applying, because they do it. And
that you are specialists in the country, right?
Yes.
You are really perfect person to learn someone how to cut gemstone, right?
But I think that we were able to develop that bond because we speak the same language. So the umiltà, we say in Italy, so to be open to learn from another culture, and we all have to learn from that culture because it's one of the oldest in terms of gemstone. Yeah. And thinking about a real cultural exchange. And we think that getting the communities involved in the process is fundamental, because it has to be a learning process from both sides, from ours and
learn each other, and this is
yes.
the best. Even during the COVID time, we all learning, developing another skill, like making
absolutely,
it
absolutely.
Okay.
It's challenging, but we had the chance to meet very open mind people, and so we hope to improve step by step to be able to develop a procedure that should be accessible to the all players.
Yeah, of course. Just finish our conversation. I want to say that it's very important. I really admire this project. It's a very amazing initiative that you're doing. And this is very important today to ask and know the gem origin, right? And
Yes.
asking when you're buying something. And this is something that's not something going to the using like marketing tools. It's really a question of our future, right? If you're wondering about the gemstone, where they come, how they are mining, if it's ethical sourcing or not. So I think the most important to all of us is just asking where it comes and how it's mining, right?
Yes, and defining also an international procedure is fundamental. With a third organ, external, of course, from the whole organization, able to declare that some actors are respecting social responsibility principles. So I think that each actor inside the supply chain has this responsibility with the final customer, because
and the client also, because should ask, right?
Yes, we
were to talk about the topic.
We all have to be able to answer to the questions. Yes.
I wish you the best luck for this project, and hope you will update about next stage, how it is going in Mogok. And thank you very much, Azzura, for joining us today and talking and showing the gemstones. It was really, really nice.
Thank you very much, Anita, for this lovely talk, and also for the sensibility you demonstrate also regarding this team that are so important, even more important now for the jewelry sector.
Absolutely. Stay safe.
Bye bye. Ciao.